Jacob and Wesley bringing you all the commentating. Is there beef? Is there beef? This racing is so exciting. They rock the Nashville network. That Beagle's cracking them up in the background. It is racing at Atlanta. It is racing at Talladega. Never turn right. Woo! Go, baby, go. Don't you curse tonight. As a Brady, the boss man is lessening. Oh dear, let's go racing. Cody not with all the graphics. Jeff Merck pulling all the facial reactions. Jordan is spoken like D.D. Polio AC and a white crane. And we're gonna have fun right now in this moment.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series here at the Nashville Superspeedway, literally king of the honky tonks, right here at Nashville Superspeedway, Nashville, Tennessee. Obviously for the Florida Cabinet Distributors 200 here tonight as we're getting ever so closer to that playoffs. And it's going to be an absolute blast. See how it turns out here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Good evening, folks. I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves, the chef Morgan Cook in the house, and the Australian Dean Hopton Biggles on production. Morgan, buddy, it's going to get crazy right here. I mean, literally, we're going to see all kinds of crazy stuff here at Nashville Superspeedway. Saw that schedule. Keith Haney did end up keeping that win from last week. Granted, Jeff Merck said he was going to protest that, but apparently it did not get overturned. So Keith Haney got that win, got himself locked in. There's your playoffs as we got tonight and Michigan next week. Morgan, buddy, how the hell have you been? How's the week been? And what are we looking for here tonight in Nashville?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. A lot of broadcasts here on my schedule. Kept me away from Nazareth for a few races, but I am back here in the saddle, as they say. Nashville's a fun one. Very difficult racetrack, long straightaways, tight corners. We'll definitely see some action when we dive down to turn 1 and into turn number 3.
It'll be real interesting to see what happens out of that, Morgan. But here we go. Get you lined up for a grid. And here it is, how the starting lineup will go for the Florida Cabinet Distributors 200. Real quick, if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe to the NASRA 360 Racing Network for all your NASRA or North American Sim Racing Association needs. Dustin Scruggs on the pole here tonight, 30.920. It is outside. MDW Matthew David Wood, 0.3 slower on his fastest lap. He will roll off from P2. Nick Sacco, Mr. Sacco, will roll off P3 with Tristan Bruce still on probation. Just much like Lucas Lyons, he will roll off from P4. David Flanagan, new driver, haven't seen him all season long, but David Flanagan rolling off from P5 in truck number 5. Brandon Broadfoot, P6. Matt Sherry, Tidy Horse. Ryan Johnson back there, 7 and 8. Kermit, Luke Smith, and Jeff Merck rounding out the top 10, Morgan.
Starting 11th will be Luke Lyons here tonight in the 88 machine. Michael Kostick will start in 12th in the 8. Matthew Montgomery rolls off 13th in the 24 machine to complete row number 7. Devin Painter in the 99. Kyle Hess starts 15th tonight. Adam Newton in the 16th position. Cody Knott, 17th. Keith Haney will roll off in 18th here, and rounding at your top 20 will be James Beard and Isaac Bevan.
Rodriguez, Jose Luis Rivera starting 21st and 22nd, respectively. Your Martinsville winner, Dylan Cardenas, will roll off in P23. Ed Osborne will start in P24. Raul Meza, Buzzy Mongo, 25th, 26th. Matthew Cummins, Stephen Thomas, back there 27th, 28th. The rest of the field, John Freeman, Jeffrey Sickles, Eric Zimmerman, Robbie Richards, and Dade Hagan. Those are the 33 drivers here tonight. TJ Moore, obviously, the race director. Your race details for this evening be pretty interesting to see how all this is going to play out as far as those stages go. Stage 1 go to 30. Stage 2, presented by the Class Mechanic, will go all the way to 75, go all the way to 150 for the Florida Cabinet Distributors 200. 5 sets of tires, 85% fuel capacity, unlimited green, white, checkered temps. Morgan, that 5 sets of tires, 85% fuel capacity, how's that going to be playing out here for these guys?
Definitely be interesting because you're probably going to use every one of those sets of tires here tonight. I think 85% fuel should get you to about 40 laps here. Might be able to make the first stage all the way, but the rest of the other two are up for debate.
It'll be interesting to see as Barty the flagman has the green flag in the air, and it is waving now in there, not just sitting still. The next round of the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series is underway here at Nashville Superspeedway. Dustin Scruggs, MDW, side by side, door to door, going into 1 and 2. Give the advantage to Scruggs off turn 2.
Able to clear on the bottom, and that's going to be the most important thing all night. If you can clear off of turn 2, you can maintain into turn number 3 when you come off that corner side by side. The outside immediately gets the advantage. Watch out here off of turn 4. That wall comes up very quick. Will we see anybody hit it? Maybe further back in the field as they dart and dash down the front stretch. It's going to be a fun one here tonight.
I mean, I love this place right here. I mean, I love this place. I love the Nashville Fairgrounds. I love the city of Nashville. Obviously, you know, a lot of country music fans up there in Nashville. We slip back here in the back to the 19. It's Adam Newton right there, the Bulldog, down here on the inside. Got a little challenge up on the outside of Kyle Hess. Hess up on the top trying to get a run. Here comes last week's winner in Texas, Keith Haney. Isaac Bevan dropping into the middle. He will go 3 wide. Hess is going to try to drop anchor and try to get out of this situation he's in.
Yeah, this is such a difficult spot to be in early in this race. You see all the drivers running in what we would call the bottom and the middle. Well, that middle line is as high as you can go here on the racetrack. If you go up on that light gray stuff way up against the outside wall, there's no grip up there. So you really only have about 2 lanes to work with. And if you overstep it, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that you're going to be able to run up on the top side. I ain't never seen anybody run all the way up against the wall. But at this point, hell, who knows? These guys could literally change our mindset. There's Dustin Scruggs. Get some. Has he got cop lights, LED lights, something going on in the background? Got a pretty cool little setup. Even got the fire extinguisher right there if all hell breaks loose, Morgan. So pretty cool right there to see the fire extinguisher in the background if it so happens. But Dustin Scruggs looks like he is zoned in 100%, not worried about a camera that's sitting in front of him or what have you. Only problem is he's got 2 guys behind him, Morgan, that are, in my opinion, 2 of the best on the Friday night series, with MDW leading all of them in the points, and Tristan Bruce, one of the more aggressive drivers here for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series.
Absolutely, and a few others trying to make their way through the field as well. Got Jeff Merck up 2 spots to 8th. It's going to be tough to pass tonight. So if you can get them on pit road, you can get them on a strategy call. That might be how you have to pass here. Is our top 5? We haven't really seen much change. Sacco's dropped 2, and the 2 guys behind him, Bruce and Flanagan, moved up 1 each. So not much other change in the top 5 here. This is going to be very difficult to set up a pass. It's going to take you 2 laps probably to make the pass happen. Got to be aggressive tonight.
Folks, if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe once again to the Nashville 360 Racing Network. Morgan, I've raced here a couple times, and I will agree with you 100%. I mean, unless you're maybe like Brandon Broadfoot, who probably dropped anchor on purpose and slid back here, in a battle with Michael Kostick and others. You have to literally be aggressive and be one of those guys to drive in and be willing to kind of knock somebody out of the way, just more or less like what Jeff Merck's doing right there with Tiny Horse. It has that short track feel to it. I mean, it's not necessarily a mile and a half, but it's not a mile and a half. It's kind of right in the middle at one and thirds of a mile. Yeah, 1 1/3. Yeah, I get tongue tied when they do that crazy stuff. But anyway, there is Kermit the Frog trying to slide up here. But like I was saying, Morgan, it's got that short track feel, much like the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Right, so normally on a mile and a half in the truck, you don't usually use the brakes into the corners, exception being Texas Turn 1. Other than that, though, you kind of just float it into the corner, or you don't even get all the way off the throttle. This racetrack, you do have to drag the brake a little bit into the corner, which creates some interesting kind of passing opportunities. But since the momentum slows down so much in the center, it doesn't really matter running the top or the bottom. It's hard to get the momentum back, so it's hard to make the pass on somebody unless they make a mistake. And that's what makes this racetrack so difficult to pass at. That and the concrete surface, it's not terribly hard on tires unless you overdrive it, and I think the entire field right now is probably overdriving it, trying to keep in their positions.
Yeah, I mean, there you see Tiny Horse right there getting a little bit aggressive. Might have slid up, just got a little bit loose right up under the 54. That is Matt Cherry out there. Obviously out there in the live chat, such great fans. Really, only one of you is actually saying anything right now, so hopefully everybody else can chime in. But JCR, which is actually Jordan Durasic out there in the live chat, obviously he's obviously last season's champion. He's sitting there talking a little bit about that move that Jeff Merck made. Like, LOL, Jeff, come on, it's lap 8. Well, I mean, hell, at least he's here. Sorry, Jordan, but I just got to throw that out there. But Jeff is Jeff's doing. I mean, he's doing basically what you said, Morgan. I mean, you've got to be aggressive here because this place is very hard to drive, and I've watched it numerous times. Well, it's not hard to drive, but it's hard to pass here. But I've seen it where literally it would be 30, 20, 30 trucks, cars, or whatever, and everybody just be ripping the damn bottom all the way around this place.
Yeah, especially when it's warm like it is now. Maybe we can get some weather conditions up on the screen here. I think it's pretty hot here in Nashville today, making it even more difficult. Yeah, you can see it right there, 122 Fahrenheit. Golly, that's a blue rare steak on the grill right there, folks. It's so hard to roll the top here when it's hot out. You pretty much have to stick the bottom. Maybe you can try backing up your entry a little bit, trying to throttle up earlier on the exit. Try something different. Get out of the dirty air in the guy in front of you. Try and get some positive momentum. That is probably going to be what you have to do to pass someone. And it doesn't look like anyone's got anything for the 11 here right now.
Here, yeah. Well, I mean, there you see Dustin Scruggs. I mean, he looks like he is just straight up zoned in. I mean, he's not it. But every time we go live on the air, I mean, every time we pull him up, Danny, it honestly looks like he's like, oh hell, they actually see me. I see them. they got me on the camera, and odds are we're gonna end up pulling him up right here, and then we're gonna end up making him wreck. So we might not want to do that because we're gonna make him laugh so hard he's gonna wreck the truck. Real quick though, Morgan. I mean, we saw it a second ago. 123. Please God, tell me that is the track temp. Because if that is the air temp,
that's the track temp.
I'm telling you, I mean, if it's the air temp right there, everybody better go ahead and take their beers and try to hide them because the ice is going to melt.
Yeah, the good news is that iRacing only goes to 90 degrees on air temperature. They haven't figured out how to go any hotter than that, or else I think there'd be there'd be some like 130-degree temps to really make this track intense. So good thing that we can only go to 90 ambient here, or else the world will be on fire.
Golly. Well, I mean, but still 122 track temp. I mean, I've seen, well, that's not as high as I've ever seen it. And now I will say this, that's as high as I've ever seen it for a concrete racetrack. I saw it in Las Vegas. I saw that track temp, and I think it was up pushing damn near 140. So, 123 still on concrete. I mean, would that change the difference as we're riding on board with David Flanagan? As actually, a matter of fact, Jordan Dressick said he's going to be an automatic caution. He hasn't caused one yet. I mean, as far as the temp and everything else, as far as the temp though, Morgan, with that 123, I mean, does it make a difference from, say, concrete to asphalt and vice versa? Would it make a difference?
I mean, concrete generally has less grip to begin with, so when you get a hot track temp like this, it's even harder to make grip, and these things are already just going to be sliding all over the place. We've seen a bunch of loose conditions. It's going to be tight into the corner as we see Tristan Bruce try and roll the high side here. Looks like he's going to get it off of turn number 2 on the 5 machine here. But it's going to make it even just more difficult to manage your tires is really all it is, whether you're fighting tight or loose, and you very well could be fighting either or both or neither. It's hard to say in this race.
Check this out right here. The Jack Shack number 5 down to the inside. Going to go for a third. Try to get around Tristan Bruce. Talking about his automatic caution. I don't know about that. Looks like he's automatically shooting up through the field. Started 5th. He is now already jumped up to the number 3 spot. That being David Flanagan. Remember, folks, going all the way to lap 30 here for stage 1. And then at the end of that, we will end up paying out some more stage points, playoff points. Morgan, we saw that grid or the points, I guess you could say. We saw everybody trying to get up into the top 20 as we see Ryan Johnson now working his way around Tristan Bruce. Bruce falling back a little bit. But we saw that playoff grid and everybody tried to go for them 20 spots. These stage points and these playoff points, these ends of these stages is going to matter more and more and more and more and more over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, some drivers, you're going to see them probably sacrifice their end finish for stage points because the stage points are guaranteed. The end finish obviously isn't until you cross the checkered flag. So you can pad a bad day with stage points and make it an all right day or even sometimes a good day. So be interesting to see guys around the cut line, Matthew Montgomery, Painter, Keith Bradley, James Beard, those guys, and what their strategy is, if it's go for stage points or try and go for the races at the end, because a lot of those guys haven't shown a ton of speed to win this season. So maybe unless they turn up the wick here at the end of the year, it's going to be hard to tell if they're going to make the playoffs or not.
There's Kyle Hess right there trying to work his way up right there with the 23. That is Stephen Thomas. Thomas up top. Thomas just got blown right by. I mean, Thomas right there was trying to make a run. One driver that is starting to make a little bit of headway in the field. Back there you see him right there up under Joshua Rodriguez. That's the 42. We talk about him all the time, the new man on the block or whatever. And at this point, hell, we're not even going to say that. I've never talked to the man. But John Freeman is one of those guys, Morgan, that I've been watching here this season that, it seems like, every time there's a race, it seems like every time I sit there and I look at the grid and look at, this and that, he surprises me. Somehow he damn near surprised Joshua Rodriguez right there by setting him around. But, I mean, it's this cat Freeman, if he sticks around for a little while, Morgan, he could be one of these guys that we could be talking about each and every Friday night, could be contending for championships in the near future.
I mean, every race that we've seen him in, starting back from my first one at Talladega earlier in the year, he has always been up here in the top 10, top 15, sometimes even higher than that, up in the top 5 at times this year. So definitely been having a good year, and hopefully he can keep it moving, keep it going, as we see one of our bigger movers of the race here, Jeff Merck, try and get another one.
Jeff Merck, remember, folks, last week had a shot, was trying to win at Charlotte last Friday night. Had that little battle with Keith Haney. Obviously, Jeff Merck, we will go ahead and say this real quick, that per the admins, I don't know about post-race, But any other time, actually, I think it's the whole time. Actually, I think we're not allowed to interview him for a little while, or at least until we're told otherwise. He said a couple of beep words, said a couple of words that he wasn't supposed to say last week, obviously. But the emotion was there. Morgan, I'm sure you went back and watched the broadcast. The emotion was there between him and Keith Haney, and us drivers, you're a driver, I'm a driver. We get emotional sometimes, and especially right there in the heat of the moment, you can end up saying something that you may look back on and regret.
For sure. When you've had a season as bad as Jeff Merck has, and you have a chance to turn it around and make it into the playoffs or clinch your way in with a win, anything like that, it hurts a little bit more when things go, like that. It is what it is. So. We all see some things that heat in the moment. I've definitely done it before with 5 to go in the stage here. I've definitely said some things that I regret, whether they're on the air or to the people in the voice chat with me. But that's part of racing. That's just the way it is. It's a big slide job here for third. Tiny Horse taking the spot away from the 5.
Yeah, Flanagan right there was trying to hold that down from what I was seeing as we still see Dustin Scruggs. There's the battle right there. Flanagan, you talked about it. I mean, basically, got the slider pulled on him. Johnson shot right by him. And Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson keeping himself up here in the mix, up 5 spots from where he started. Flanagan actually now up 1 spot from where he started as he gets kicked back to the 4th spot. 3 laps to go here in stage number 1. And it's pretty much been Dustin Scruggs literally all the way. I don't think anybody's actually led a lap other than Dustin Scruggs. I think he's led all 27 laps up to this point.
Yeah, from the pole, he took the lead off of turn 2 and never looked back. But on this restart, I'd be looking at this 38 machine who we were just on board with a few minutes ago, as he is the fastest truck on the racetrack, even faster than your leader. Nobody else running in the 32.5s except for the 38 machine. And he's slowly but surely catching MDW. He should not get there, though, based on how many laps we have left. And Scruggs has been a pretty good gap behind him to MDW.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm still kind of shocked right here. I'm seeing all these lights. Yeah, I mean, I'm having a cold one right now, and I see all them lights, and I'm thinking, damn, the cops coming after me, so I got to quit looking at those lights behind Dustin Scruggs. Dean's talking about that. Actually, it's not a bad idea. Dean's talking about to give him a program, kind of get it lined up that way. Those lights quit blinking the way that they are. What color is that, Morgan? I mean, we got blue, white, we got all kinds of strobe-like colors going on by Dustin Scruggs.
Yeah, I think we're on Starship Scruggs over there in the bottom corner there, trying to make this thing go around the racetrack as we come to the white flag here, if I'm not mistaken, of stage number 1. Going to lead every single lap of this stage he has led so far. Maybe he'll lead the last one as well and make it a clean sweep of stage number 1.
I mean, he looks right there. I mean, obviously, you see Dustin Scruggs right there zoned in. And, obviously, with the WP Camp and Sons house movers, obviously you see all those great sponsors on that number 11, but Dustin Scruggs working his way off of turn 3 and 4. Give it up for Mission 1 Esports. Number 11 takes round 1 here at Nashville. Get him some playoff points, some stage points. Serve Pro Caution is out. Dustin Scruggs will win stage number 1. MDW, Ryan Johnson, David Flanagan, Matt Sherry, the top 5. Rest of the guys getting some stage points. Jeff Merck, Tristan Bruce, Nick Sacco, Lucas Lyons, Michael Kostick, the top 10 finishers here for stage number 1. Folks, we're going to take a quick ad break, bring you back after some pit stops, and have a word with your stage 1 winner, Dustin Scruggs. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's magical creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Folks, we're back here at Nashville Superspeedway. You didn't miss a whole lot. You see Dustin Scruggs working his way jumping out of the pits. See if we can grab a word with your Stage 1 winner, Mr. Dustin Scruggs, number 11. Dustin, buddy, congratulations on that Stage 1 victory. I mean, tell us about your race so far, bud.
Yeah, man, just got to lock in and keep these tires under me. Try not to slide the car too much. Keep the weight on the back right and just let her rip. Try to keep the clean air and keep it up front and, hold these guys back. So,
You guys battling a tight condition out there here tonight? Is that why you're trying to drive it off the right rear?
yeah, I mean, you kind of do that on this track anyway, but it's like 123 degrees on the track, so it's super slick outside. And yeah, you just got to find new lines, try to find traction where you can, but it's definitely really slippery out there. It's really tight, just kind of pushing. So it's difficult conditions.
Two quick questions real quick. I know y'all are getting doubled up, getting ready to go green. Two questions. One, is there any way you can change the colors to them damn lights behind you? Because they are about to, I mean, their strobes is about to kill me. And two, do you know when we have your virtual cam live up on there? Because it seems like every time we talk about you, you're sitting right here looking at us, and we don't want to throw you off and make you laugh or nothing to screw you up.
What were you asking about the lights?
Yeah.
What was your question? I missed it.
The lights, can you change the colors? Because they look like strobes going off in a nightclub.
Yeah, man, I can change them. It was supposed to look like a like racing, like checkered flag kind of thing, but yeah, we'll get them fixed. Yes, that would be amazing.
There you go. Dean's going to hook him up. All right, Dustin Scruggs, buddy, appreciate your time. Congratulations on Stage 1, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, see you.
You know, he didn't answer the question, Morgan, about the camera. Was talking about him, so I don't know. So well, let's screw it then. We'll mess with him. Why not? Stage 2 presented by the Glass Mechanic. How about this right here? You talked about it, Morgan. Ryan Johnson up here on the front row. Dustin Scruggs will be your leader. He took the outside, obviously, and green flags in the air. They're underway. How about who's sitting right in behind Dustin Scruggs? Jeff Merck got up here, maybe a little bit of a different strategy. Either that or he was just that damn fast in the pits. He's going to come out third, right up behind Tiny Horse. Here he goes down to the inside. Well, baby, here we go. Jeff Merck going for second.
He's going to dive to the inside here, and no strategy call, just an elite pit stop from the 60s. He's going to try and get around the 38, got tight off the corner, couldn't quite get there. Drag race, give that spot for the moment to Mr. Merck as he dives again into turn number 1. Caution is out for the first time here today. Oh, we got a parking lot down here. I see the 1 machine. Saw the 48 in it as well. Let's check it out. I think it did start with Brandon Broadfoot, though. Let's go check it out.
I think so. I think it was Brandon Broadfoot, actually. Matter of fact, I mean, you called that, Morgan, as we're going to see it right here on a Pulse Poppers instant replay. Brandon Broadfoot up here. See what happens right here with this old 22s. He dives into turn number 3. What's that going to happen right here? There's Robbie Richards coming up here in a 48 C.O.P.S truck. What happened right here, Morgan?
Well, looks like maybe trying to block. Yeah, kind of just. That's a tough one. I think Richards was. I think Broadfoot thought Richards was going to go down to the bottom, and he kind of was half a lane up and just didn't quite see it. That's a tough one for both of those guys. Just a racing incident. I've had that happen here before too, where I've gotten right hooked on the front stretch just because you don't really want to go down to that yellow line because you don't want to touch it. You'll spin. So, just a tough incident there. And look at the 1 machine. I'm not sure what happened to him. He was clear of this incident, and all of a sudden he ended up in the grass down there on the bottom.
I'll be honest with you, it looked like they didn't even touch. If you want my honest answer on that, obviously, I mean, it did look like there was some very significant neck code. I've seen it a lot wider, but there you see it. I mean, didn't even touch him.
For sure.
There's a huge gap right there between Richards and Broadfoot. You hate to see that right there. And I mean, Broadfoot, after all that right there, nobody else hits him. Nobody hit Broadfoot. And then Richard slides. There's Rodriguez. He goes for a spin, spins around in the spin cycle. Everybody tries to get by as well. There's
Evan got
Bevan
in
in
it
the
too.
27. Yeah. Bevan ends up getting in it.
Didn't see what happened to the 27 here. Let's go back and see this one. Yeah, just trailing behind the incident. Really nothing going on. See James Beard up in front of him. See the smoke. Oh, he got sent. Yeah, he got shipped by the one, which is probably why they both spun. Yeah, put the 27 on the outside wall. One spun around the 48, and I think that's all 4 of the drivers who are involved in this accident.
You hate to see that right there. Obviously, for everyone involved, I mean, hate to see that. But obviously, points poppers, I'm sure they would tickle dead to see it because they get some recognition off of that instant replay. Folks, we'll take another quick commercial break. Bring you right back here at Nashville Superspeedway. We got to get some more behind the mic stuff for the next podcast episode. We'll be right back.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Here we go. Get ready to get back for a restart. Dustin Scruggs, Ryan Johnson on the front row. Green flag back in the air. MTW right in behind Dustin Scruggs. Matt Sherry, Jeff Burke, the top 5. Diving down into turn 1. Gives Scruggs the advantage. Side by side for second. Wood up top. Johnson on the bottom. Here comes Mama Merck's boy, Jeff Burke, and Matt Cherry up top.
Yeah, it looks like for now, at least early in this race, the top side is going to be preferred on the restarts. If you are not the leader, able to roll off a turn 2 quite well, MDW gets that second spot away, and those 2 drivers who led the inside line are now fighting for their positions over Matt Cherry.
Down on the bottom side, Lucas Lyons right in behind him. Check it out, Tristan Bruce right in behind him as well. Morgan, I don't know if you caught this or not, but, both of these guys, Tristan Bruce, Lucas Lyons, I talked about it last week when we was at Charlotte. Both these guys on probation. Both of them is. The 88 and the 3, both of them on probation is damn. Check it out. Lyons just dives it in there, sends Merck up the hill. Merck might end up getting a little bit of taste of his own medicine right there. Tristan Bruce now going up to the outside. But like I said, Morgan, for the past 2 races, from Kansas and North Wilkesboro, both of these guys, for, how they was racing, both of them are on probation at least for the next 6 weeks. And very interested to see them side by side early on right here at Nashville.
But that's always seems to be the way that it is. I mean, I've had this in other leagues as well. When you have a problem with a guy, you always find yourself right on his door every week, every lap it feels like, and you just can't ever get away from each other. And that's part of being fast. When you're up at the front running around these same guys all the time, as Merck gives a big shot to the back of Lyons into the corner, got him a little bit upset there. You're just stuck around these guys all the time, and you have to put your differences aside eventually, or get faster, or get slower, because you're going to run beside them otherwise.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, but and the other thing, it was something that one of the drivers was saying, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were like, well, everybody needs to kind of try to get along because, these guys, they race with each other each and every Friday night. Some of them even race on Monday nights. And even with, the Xfinity Series coming up, the National Cup Series coming up, a lot of these guys is going to be racing with each other multiple times throughout the week. But at least, 100% they race with each other every single Friday night. It's the same guys. So, they got to learn to get along one way or another. Either that or it's just going to cause all kinds of problems all the way through this series. And it's something that you do not want to see as we slip back here and see a little bit of a battle with Stephen Thomas back here. Thomas got one on his inside as now we're going to slide back up here and talk to or see Jeff Merck. Merck, he got, guess what? Kermit D. Frog here. I can't even say it. Dean does it better than I do. Kermit right behind him. Murph's Magical Creations right there on the hood of that 83.
Yeah, we're single filed out here pretty much through the entire top 10. I think the first side-by-side battle with Stephen Thomas, Dylan Cardenas back here for the 13th, 14th position. But everyone just trying to ride, save those tires here. This is a little bit longer of a stage here. 45 laps versus the 30 from before. Should be able to make it on fuel, but the tires are going to fall off significantly on the tail end of this run here.
Yeah, that's one thing I always loved about this track right here. I used to do a lot of Xfinity Series racing, with custom setups, obviously by Premier Racing setups. But I used to do a lot of official races on Monday nights, and throughout the week before I became a broadcaster. This was always one of the tracks where it did not matter what updates or whatever. I always seemed like I ran pretty good here as far as the Xfinity cars. Now, the trucks hated it here. I didn't do worth a damn. But the Xfinity cars, I always seemed like I was able to save my tires and always had the better setup than the other guys. Got a couple wins here, or officially and everything. But that's the big key. Like you said, Morgan, it is the tires. Tires is going to be the biggest factor tonight. Who can save their tires and who cannot overstep their boundaries and cause problems for themselves.
This is the only racetrack that I have 2 league wins on, two different cars, and I bet you can't guess which 2 they are, Jake.
Which cars?
Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go out on a limb on one of them. I'm gonna say a Mazda Miata.
Ooh, that's aggressive. The Indy car, the IR18,
I can see that. Yeah.
And the truck. They're the only 2 vehicles I've won here with, but I have 2 wins this racetrack, so I can get around here okay. It's a good racetrack for me.
Yeah. Morgan's a pretty big deal. Morgan's a pretty big deal.
Well,
he can do all that cool stuff.
That's why they brought me to Nazareth, right? It's because I'm a bit of a big deal, isn't that right, Jake?
I guess so. Well, actually, I've heard a lot of cool things about them Mazda Miatas. I heard that you can, they put on a hell of a show literally wherever you go, and certainly wouldn't mind seeing Formula One. Huh?
I can't
Formula
drive
One,
much,
what?
Dean. I'll be real with you. I can't drive much anywhere, so.
I would like to see the Mazda Miatas like at Daytona or Talladega or something like that. I mean, would there be speed? No. No, they'd be slower than hell. But to be honest with you, it'd be interesting. Have you ever buck drafted in a Mazda Miata? You ever tried it?
Yes, they work pretty good actually. They push pretty good.
Do they really? I did not know that.
They do.
I've never tried it. Never have tried it. I always wanted to, but I never have tried it. There you see Lucas Lyons, Jeff Merck. They're already had a little bit of a roughhouse in a minute ago. Lyons dove it in on the corner, shot Merck up the track, and then Merck a couple laps later to give him a shot and tried to send him around. I'm telling you, if you're Lucas Lyons, granted, like I said, you're on probation. You got to be careful. You don't want to do nothing crazy, but if you're going to race against anybody aggressive, you're going to try to make them bad. The last one you want to mess with is Jeff Merck. Obviously coming off of what happened at Charlotte and then obviously the aggressive nature that Jeff Merck has had. Morgan, I know you're kind of new, still with Nazareth, but Jeff Merck's kind of been one of the hot heads here in Nazareth.
You don't have to be around long to learn that, Jake. I am well aware. But what I'll also say is that those are the kind of drivers that sometimes you have to be a little more aggressive with, because if they're going to just run you over all the time and you just lay over and let it go, they're going to keep doing it. Sometimes you got to give those guys a little bit of a shove back, race them a little bit harder, that sort of thing, to just be like, hey, I know you're aggressive, I know you're fast, but I'm here too. So just give me some space. And I've always found that to work pretty well for me in my racing experience, and I don't see how some of these guys employ it to some of the other drivers in the field here.
I'll tell you one driver that I've never really seen aggressive, and that's the man that you see right there on your screen, MTW, Matthew David Wood. I mean, the aggressiveness is never really there for that 21. It's always just flat out speed. I mean, really, out of the 21, the way I look at it, Morgan, you've been around for a little while. This whole deal with Wood is, I was just fixing to talk about Wood. Hell, we need to go back to this right here. Merck is trying to get around Lucas Lyons. And this is proof, obviously, about what you were talking about, Morgan, a while ago. Is we're at lap 55. We got about 20 laps left here in Stage 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. This is proof right here that it is hard to pass at Nashville Superspeedway. Merck's had a couple shots on him, and every time he dives in like this right here, he sends it, but he's got to get out of the gas. Kermit almost got into him, almost knocked him sideways. But, he sent it numerous times. He just cannot complete the pass.
Yeah, the hard part about this racetrack is you want to drive in deeper than the other guy and try and get the spot that way. But I've always found it to be, if you just back the corner up a little bit, you can get on throttle earlier and maybe try and roll the high side. It's going to take longer to get that pass done than if you're able to dive it in there and hope that they miss the bottom, move them up out of the way, that sort of thing. But usually you can get that pass done, as you see Caustic roll around the high side here of Kermit trying to get this thing done, and looks like he will, down the front stretch, make that pass.
Yeah, he was able to get the run just like Keith Haney, last week's winner at Charlotte, was able to make that. Oh, damn. Mark got knocked sideways. Keith Haney, how about this right here? This is ironic. How about 3 wide? Mark's not happy. They're going to door each other. Haney's going to get by Jeff Mark. And think about that for a second, though, Morgan, with some of the comments that Mark made last week in post race, talking about he was going to protest that win at Charlotte against Keith Haney, saying that Haney intentionally put him into the wall and everything. Is there a possibility that Haney might have got into him on purpose to send a message there?
I don't think that's the case. Merck's trapped on the high side right here, and he hasn't really been able, so we're going to go 3 wide here with the new guy, John Freeman, on the bottom. A little offset 3 wide action. When you're trapped on the high side and you can't get down to the bottom to run the line you want, you just kind of back it up throughout the field. And I think that's all that was, is Haney didn't quite realize how slow Merck was going to go into the corner trying to get down to the bottom, and just give him a bit of a tap. Just a racing incident from what I can see.
Well, that's what you're going to say. I love to stir crap up. So I'm going to go with he got it on purpose to send him
that. You also don't have to be around Nazar very long to learn.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. There you see right there. Jeff Mark, obviously, just like Dean says right there, obviously Dean was in our ear, saying that a minute ago, that he's usually got his elbows out and everything else anyway. So, maybe that's got a little bit to factor in it as well. How about this right here, Dylan Cardenas in this 15? Obviously, he won at Martinsville a couple of weeks ago. One of the faster drivers here on the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, and Morgan, he's one of those guys where we're getting right about this point right here. We don't usually see him up at the front, like in the top 10 and everything, but it seems like at the end of these races, it seems like Cardenas is always searching and close to getting up there inside that top 10. At least that's what it seems like to me.
And this is a racetrack that obviously is promoting green flag racing here today, but it promotes drivers who are good at saving their equipment. There are a lot of movers in this race. I see Keith Haney's up 10, Freeman's up 17, Cardenas up 10, Thomas and Hagen up 13 and 17 respectively. You can really work through the field here if you are patient and if you can take care of your stuff. And you see your 3 leaders as well, who 2 of them just tagged the wall off the corner there. Good shot, Dean. You caught it. They're able to save their stuff as well. Whereas you see some other drivers who are struggling here today. Matthew Montgomery is down 8. Kyle Hess is down 9. I see Brandon Broadfoot obviously crashed earlier, down 22. James Beard's down 13. Jose Luis Rivera is down 9 as well. Some drivers are struggling to hang on to their stuff and manage their tires. This is a track that really promotes being able to save your stuff.
And that's something that we need a lot of in racing. Honestly, we need stuff. We need races, in real life. We need tracks and everything else, and cars to be able to produce that saving your stuff and everything else, which it's like you said, Morgan, this is the big factor out of it, is that it's green. And that's what we wanted to see. We love to see green flag racing. If this was a cautions fest or something like that, saving your stuff would literally be out the door. But right here, with it being green like this, it is helping out, a lot of guys. Like right there, you see John Freeman dipping down to the inside right there in that number 42. One of those guys you was talking about a minute ago that is on a tear trying to shoot up through the field. Here's Nick Sacco up here trying to work his way around Tristan Bruce. Both of these guys started up inside the top 10. But, a lot of guys, it's like you said, Morgan, there is passing opportunities. The only problem is it takes 20 damn laps before we can or 20 or 30 laps before we can get to those passing opportunities.
Right. When we're on the fresh tires and the full fuel tanks, everyone is running pretty much the same speed. We're all within a tenth of each other, except for maybe your leader in clean air. But once we get the tires wearing, that is when you get the opportunity to pass these guys, to roll the high side. And we've seen MDW on the high side of Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson here for the last 3 laps. We didn't see this earlier in the race at all. And see one guy drives really deep into the corner. One guy's going to try and cross him over on the exit. Can he get there? Yes, he can. MDW down to the bottom here for the second position. This is the racing you see here at the National Superspeedway when you are allowed to have long green flag runs and a very hot track temp.
That's the other factor right there that's kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop. You were talking about that track temp, Morgan. At one point it was 123, now it's 118. That's what's got me because, these guys, they're trying to save. At the same time, the track's hot. So, they're slipping all over the place, trying not to, quite frankly, just be honest with you, they're trying not to bust their ass. But the problem is, they're trying to do that. They're racing. They're doing all kinds of stuff the way that they're doing it right now, and they're keeping it green. That's what amazes me, and I'm sure that, this is the best series that NASRA has. Obviously, this is their premier series. But when you throw in all the factors of the track temp, them trying to save tires on concrete, all those factors in, it is truly amazing to see. It is truly amazing to see what they do. Because I'll be honest with you, the Coca-Cola iRacing series, they couldn't do this. They already had about 3 or 4 cautions already. And these guys, the only one caution, that was for the end of stage 1.
Let me riddle you this as well, Jake. If you had to pick 3 racetracks that you typically see the longest green flag runs, what racetracks would you pick?
Well, here would be in the top 3. This would be one of those tracks I would put in the top 3. No, not Bristol, Dane. No, we got lucky on the Monday series with that one. I don't see how that one worked out, but it did. Charlotte would probably be one of them as well. Honestly, I would say Charlotte would probably be one, because we had a very good race last Friday night. But, I will say that, I say this would probably be the number 1 track. Honestly.
So where I'm going with this, Jake, there was a point to this, was my 2 that I normally see long green flag runs at are Darlington and Rockingham. Right? Those tracks typically produce long green flag runs. And why is that, you might ask? Because everyone is terrified of wrecking the truck. A lot like this racetrack here with these hard braking zones into or after these long straightaways. People just don't want to crash here. They're all so focused on just driving the racetrack that you usually see these long green flag runs. Whereas at a place like Kansas, as we saw a few weeks ago, where you're kind of not, you're focused, of course, but there's a lot of forgiveness. If you miss the bottom, you just run the middle. It's fine. Whatever. Not a big deal. Just don't hit the wall. It allows you to kind of drive a little bit harder here and have issues. Not the case today. You have to be dialed in or else you're going to find yourself on the outside wall.
And now Ryan Johnson, we're hearing putting a little bit of pressure up here on Dustin Scruggs. This is the first challenge that Mr. Scruggs has had all night long. And with 4 laps to go, Dustin Scruggs trying to go for the sweep here tonight at Nashville Superspeedway. Honestly, that sweep is in jeopardy right now with stage 2 presented by the Glass Mechanic right here. How about this? Jose Luis Rivera back here, the 32nd driver in the field, the first one or the last one on the lead lap, Morgan, he could possibly play a factor in this. I mean, he's going to go all the way to the top side. Scruggs and Johnson down on the inside. Looks like Rivera's going to go ahead and give them all the room that they can handle.
Oh, that was the absolute worst place to catch the lap car. Saw the 11 and Scruggs to drive it all the way down the racetrack as right to the back bumper as Tiny Horse to the inside here. And maybe we could just remember ourselves back here about 45 laps ago when I said, who was the driver to watch at the end of stage one? Can anyone echo that for me? I think it was Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson is what I said. So that was one of the drivers I said. I said like 8 of them.
It was.
He was one of them.
It was, Dean. He was the main one actually that he said, yes. I remember, yeah, he said Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson, which kind of blew me away. And believe it or not, it's actually going to work out in your favor, to be honest with you. You may want to go get you a lottery ticket when this race is all said and done, Morgan. But Johnson down on the bottom side looks like he's pretty good position, preferred spot right here with 2 to go. Racing with Scruggs, but Scruggs ain't giving up, son. He wants to try to go for the sweep bear tonight.
Diving here into turn 3. This should be the final time we hit turns 3 and 4 in this stage. Tiny Horse going to clear in the center. Scruggs cannot get back to gas. Get the stage win, I think, this lap to Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson.
We got one more lap. It goes to the end of 75. So Scruggs has got another shot right here. Here's the problem, though, Morgan. Look who has entered the picture. Johnson leads. Scruggs is there. Now Wood could end up going for second. I just don't think he's going to have enough time.
No, he's going to have a perfect 3 and 4 here to close in those 4 truck lengths that he is behind. Scruggs dives it in really hard into the corner, loses it all in the center. He's loose off the corner, too. He's driving it.
Damn, Johnson puts it in the wall, but comes to the line, and he will win stage 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic. Surf Pro caution is out. Johnson, Scruggs, Wood, Bruce, Cherry, the top 5. Mr. Sacco, Nick Sacco, will get 6th. Lucas Lyons, Keith Haney, Michael Kostick, and John Freeman up 19 spots from where he started at 29th. He is all the way up to the 10th spot. But stage 2, presented by the Glass Mechanic, it is Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson's here for the Florida Cabinet Distributors 200 at the Nashville Superspeedway. Well, folks, they're going to take them a quick pit stop. We're going to step aside real quick before we do. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Nashville 360 Racing Network. We'll step away. I'm going to go get me another cold beer, and we'll be right back for stage 3. Don't go anywhere. It's just starting to get good.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's magical creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
And we are back here at Nashville Superspeedway. Sorry if you might have heard something that was supposed to be on behind the mic. Thank you, Dean. You went a little bit too late on that call, but you didn't count me down. You counted me the wrong way. Yeah, you counted way too quick. Well, we apologize. That is on me. That was not supposed to be said. That was supposed to be on behind the mic, so I will apologize for that. That happens. It happens. It's live TV. Sometimes that'll happen. But here we go. Bring up your stage 2 winner, presented by the Glass Mechanic, Mr. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. And Mr. Johnson, Tiny Horse, congratulations, stage 2 winner, buddy. How's that truck feeling out there?
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Truck feels overall really tight tonight, especially in traffic. So I'm just trying to take care of my tires as best I can, and so far it's working. Just got just under the rest of the other half of the race to go. So hopefully we can keep it up here.
Two-parter here for you. The first one's really more of a statement. Nobody tonight has been better on older tires than you have been, obviously taking that stage win on the 2 to go in that stage. How far can you go on fuel here into this run? And what's it going to take to hold off the rest of the field here as you have been the best in the long run?
Yeah, we can go, I think it's around 50 laps or so. So we're going to have, if it stays green, we're going to need a pit stop here in the last stage. But, yeah, I mean, the truck feels good. Hopefully, we can just, I don't know, I'm just trying to save the tires best I can. I know Nashville here is kind of a challenging track. They got some goofy lines, so it looks like I'm running a little different than everybody else too. So maybe that's what's working. I don't know.
He is one of the best folks here in Nashville. We'll see how it works out for him. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, buddy. Good luck the rest of the race.
Thanks, buddy.
That was Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson. We'll send him down. I believe he's in blue lights, or he might be in blue line. I don't know which one he's in, but he's in one of them. We'll end up talking to him because I got a feeling we're probably going to have a caution or a couple of them right here in stage 3 because this is fixing to get wrapped up. Or a win is on the line here tonight to lock yourself into the playoffs. So we'll see how it works out. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson leads him off turn 2.
Yeah, big clear. I think I saw Merck just hit the outside wall. Maybe it wasn't him. I thought I saw him flash in front of the screen up, sliding into the wall. He did not, in fact. So somebody definitely slid, but they kept it out of the outside retaining wall. So that is good news for them as we are racing hard here. Freeman and Haney a little further back in the field. Good battles all the way throughout this 32-car field here tonight.
John Freeman right here. We could be talking about him here in a minute being in victory lane. This 42, kind of a, honestly, I mean, he kind of looks like he's kind of on a, a watermelon run. To be honest with you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, think back to the Coca-Cola 600 last weekend with Ryan Tiny Horse, or not Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, Ross Chastain. Yeah, I'm thinking about Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson because I thought he just may hit the wall forward, but Ross Chastain went all the way from dead last, 40th starting spot, came up and he won the Coca-Cola 600. Well, I say John Freeman, he didn't start dead last, but he started 29th, and he is one of, if not the fastest truck out there on the racetrack right now.
Yeah, he's definitely cut through traffic better than pretty much anyone else tonight, including your leader, Ryan Johnson, who's passed a bunch of trucks, but nobody has passed more 21 to this point in the race than John Freeman. Yeah, with the dirty air, it's going to be difficult to make up any ground at this moment, but again, we have potentially a 75 lap run ahead of us with the pit stop if everything goes as the drivers are hoping. So maybe we will see this 42 be able to put the tire saving to good use and drive through the field again.
See how that ends up working out for him. Actually, it looked like he might have got up and tagged the wall right there coming off turn 4. Somebody hit that wall off turn 4. Morgan, you talked about that a second ago with Rivera going a lap down to the leaders when Scruggs and Johnson, they were battling for the lead, and you mentioned turn 4 is the worst possible spot to let somebody go. I know this, but is there any way maybe you can explain it to the fans why that turn 4 wall, or why that's turn 4 is so hard, is so much harder than what turn 2 is, and probably one of the hardest corners that we'll race on all season long?
Yeah, let's if we can get it on board here, Dean, with one of these trucks, maybe from a roof or from a nose cam. We'll get a pretty good idea here. Yeah, let's ride on board with Tristan Bruce. Sounds like a good time here. So we're gonna go Dustin Scruggs here. Looks like he's fallen back to 3rd, but so you run on the bottom, tons of real estate out high here, and all of a sudden the wall comes up so fast. In fact, Bruce got it there, and you're already fighting that tight condition. So let's see off of turn 2 and see how it just feels a lot different from inside, or in this case, on the roof of the truck. So here we haven't even hit the bottom of the racetrack yet. Roof's fine. We're on the bottom of the racetrack here, and we still have a good amount of room to the outside. Just the way this track is shaped, the banking falls away very quickly off of turn number 4. You dive into the corner, you throttle it up right there, and you just hope it doesn't plow because the wall comes up right there. very easy to get it as the leader. Just hit the wall, in fact, right there. So that's a pretty good shot, as good as you're going to be able to get on board here of why this track is so difficult and how each end is completely different here.
Well, I mean, Morgan, I talked about it's, one of the toughest corners that we're going to race on, or possibly one of the toughest corners in NASCAR or in, over racing, as far as we know it and everything else. Would you agree with that? That turn 4 is one of the hardest corners to have to get off of?
I think it's one of the most deceiving corners. It's very much like last week at Charlotte, that turn 4 as well, where the banking falls away so fast that if you have the wrong angle off the corner, you can't stop yourself from knocking down the fence. And this one is probably even a little bit more deceiving because it looks like there's a lot of racetrack. But as our stage 2 winner, Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson, said in the interview, you got some weird lines at this racetrack, and you have to run all the way out there because you can't turn it down anymore, else you'll spin.
Yeah, thank you, Dean. Yeah,
Thanks, Dean.
Yeah, thank you, Dean. Yeah. Dean said, Dean's saying that the hardest turn 4 out of every single one of them was Pocono. If you didn't get that right there, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say this. As Tiny Horse still has the lead, he was actually to fend off that challenge from Tristan Bruce a couple laps ago. I look at Texas, the new Texas model, as having one of the hardest turn 4s to come off of. And the reason that I say that, Morgan, is that it's hard to come off of those corners because you don't know if you're going to snap tight or if you're going to be tight and it's just going to shoot right up the hill, or if you're going to snap loose and go around. Every time I've come off a turn 4 in Texas, you have no idea what it's going to do. You have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea.
You must be on those fixed setups because the stability of the Premier Racing setup simply just wouldn't have it that way. So you might have to upgrade your setup shop and go with those Premier Racing setups, Jake.
Well, that was back. Well, yeah, I do use racing or Premier Racing setups.
That was a perfect setup for a plug. It was on a tee and somehow it fell like ice cream off the cone. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. Popping beers back left and right, I guess you end up screwing it up. Well, I tell you what,
man.
If you love the entertainment, like and subscribe to the National 360 Racing Networks. And since he's got it lined up on that tee, go side by side for Premier Racing setups. Obviously, we'll talk about them when we get to 20 to go. As you see the Premier Racing Setups commercial, you need one, you know where to go. Premier Racing Setups.com, and I will guarantee you get you one of those setups. You will not snap loose off turn 4. Probably can keep it off the wall here, but Serve Pro Caution is out.
Buzzy Mongold.
And Buzzy Mongold in the 97 has went around. We'll see kind of what happened right there with the 97 of Buzzy Mongold and what ended up sending this 97 around and send him in the spin cycle over here in 1 and 2 on a Pulse Poppers instant replay.
Is that one to his inside here? Is that Bevan? I think it is Bevan in the 27. Mm-hmm. This is off of 4. Could be exactly what we saw on our first caution for cause of the day. It pretty much is just 2 drivers making contact. One thing about this racetrack, there's no hash marks on the front stretch, and that really helps a lot of drivers out to tell exactly where they are. Here you only have the 5 or 6 seams that there are on the racetrack, and they're hard to see at speed, so it could just be that it's kind of hard to tell where your truck is positioned versus where the other guy you expect him to be, and a little bit of contact there and sends Buzzy Mongold into the fence.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see it right there for Pulse Poppers. I mean, Pulse Poppers obviously the sponsor for the instant replay, and then Pulse Poppers on the hood of the 97. Morgan, to me, it kind of looked like Bevan shot up the racetrack, was wanting to jump in behind the 97, and unfortunately, he was not clear and just straight up cleaned him out. And that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, and we've seen, you really need to arc these corners, and I think you want to get every inch you possibly can. Bevan trying to just get a little bit too much, got into the side of Buzzy, and then have definitely finished him off, kind of pushed him all the way down through the apron, and Buzzy hit the wall, and 27 is able to carry on.
Tell you what, folks, we'll carry on with Stage 3 right after this word from some of our great sponsors here with NASCAR. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And folks, we're back here at Nashville Superspeedway. Looks like the field's coming back around right here to get the one to go. That's exactly what they're doing. Real quick, if you have not entered into this bad boy, I don't know why, but y'all need to get in it. Y'all need to be ready for June the 8th. It's in about 2 weeks. Go ahead and tell you exactly what we got going on right here. We got a little Nazra 1100 for each and every damn one of y'all. $25 qualifying fee for both of them. There you see the times and everything. And the Indy 500, Nazra's version of the Indy 500, June 8th. Both races on June the 8th. If you want to get into Discord, try to get a hold of one of the admins, Brave LaBeouf, Cody Knott. There is your QR code. Obviously, we will be broadcasting it by Wesley and Dean. And then also, later on that evening, you got to have the Coke 600, our version of the Coke 600. And thank God they are in the 87 cars. Will end up being a big deal. I heard that, there's still room for others to enter for qualifying fees. So if you want to be a part of something big and a part of history with Nazra, we already had the Nazra 500, but if you want to be a part of another spot in Nazra's history for the Nazra 1100, go give Brady LaBeouf, Cody Knott a holler, and we'll get that QR code up later on. That way we can give you the opportunity to scan that and get into that here in about 2 weeks. Green flag back in the air. Ryan
big wreck.
Johnson, big pile up in 2. Now we got another parking lot.
Matt Cherry's involved, so is the 78 of Jeffrey Sickles. Saw the 54 go around kind of middle of the pack to check out what happened to him. New players up at the front as well. We'll talk about that here after we diagnose what happened to the 54, who was running up there in the top 7, 8 for most of this race. After the pit stop, finds himself a little further back here behind Sacco.
I mean, I just hate to see that from Matt Cherry just because all the Chevy logos all over. I'm a big Chevy guy as it is. And damn, I mean, he just got cleaned out. I believe that's Devin Painter, a little bit of a stack up, ends up sending Cherry up against the wall. Jeffrey Sickles just basically puts it, locks it down. Yep. Had nowhere to go right there. Cherry was right there in his way, so he just locked it down and just prayed at that point. There you see right there, Jeffrey Sickles just trying to stay out of all the trouble. There goes Pater, sends it up into Cherry and Sickles. I mean, you can't see nothing right there. I mean, you got smoke. But
no, I know Dean's clowning on the guy here behind the mic, but that's absolutely the right move. You can't go down the racetrack if you're going that slow because you're going to get hit by someone else. A bunch of drivers whiz by. You pretty much got to go to the top, and I would have expected that car to drive back down the hill, the spinning Cherry. It just didn't quite happen, but did a great job of locking it down to not hit anybody. So absolutely the right move there by Sickles.
And Dean in the background, obviously giving us this pit stop strategy. There you see right there with Freeman, Cardenas, Merck, some of those guys. Actually, Cardenas, he's on a pretty good lengthy little stint right here. Merck, one of the newer guys, on tires, Scruggs, Flanagan, Wood, Thomas, all those guys that have already pitted this last time around, before this and everything. So they're on the freshest stuff. But now these other guys like Ryan Toddy, Ellis Johnson, and others just went down pit road. So that will make it very interesting. Morgan, I will ask you this. Obviously, Dean was in the background. Obviously he's just screwing around and everything, clowning and everything. But that right there, you're in that moment. And I'll give you my interpretation of it as well afterwards. But I'll ask you this. You're in that moment. You see a truck spinning. You see smoke all over the place. I mean, in my opinion, it takes some damn skill to sit there and figure out which way do I go? Do I go left, right? Do I hit the brakes? Where do I mean? Because you got so much going on right there, especially we're right on the cockpit with Jeff Sickles. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, you have to not panic in this situation. Like, I see smoke. You can't freeze. But you also can't panic and do anything crazy, right? He got off the throttle early, got on the brakes, and also getting on the brakes will naturally bring you up to the high side as well. So, but he did everything he had to do to not wreck the truck, and that's really the goal here, right? Is if you see an accident, just get through it. The field's frozen. You're not going to lose any spots by over slowing down. But if you try and get it through too fast, you might wreck the car.
You know what? I'll give him some.
Yeah, there's
Well,
no grass in turn 2 at Nashville, Dean.
Well, but Morgan, I'll give him some more kudos and some more brownie points out of this. You saw him, when he hit the brakes, he did go to the right, but he didn't slam into the wall or nothing like that. But he did get up into the wall. That will help you slow down as well. Obviously, it sounds stupid, but it really does sound crazy. But when you slide up like that a little bit, you get a little bit of friction between that truck and that wall. Believe it or not, it will slow that truck down just a little bit. John Freeman. If y'all didn't understand, I was just sarcastic right there. John Freeman sliding up the hill. Here comes Jeff Berg down on the inside.
I hate to second guess the 42, but I'm not sure why he didn't pit there. Him and the 15 out on way older tires than the rest of the field, and we might be staring down a long green flag run as Jeff Merck takes the lead off of turn number 4. And still, Scruggs has not cleared the 42 on those 20-lap older tires.
Previous winner, matter of fact, Jeff Merck has won here at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Superspeedway.
Matter of fact, Nashville Superspeedway. Yes, see, I'm crossed up all the way around, but he has won here at this track, Morgan. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, sophomore campaign. I can't remember if it was his rookie year or the sophomore campaign of Jeff Merck, but he has won here at Nashville Superspeedway. He won it in dominated fashion that day. He's trying to pull back a little bit from the history books of Nazareth and show that he has still got what it takes as Matthew Cummins now going through the grass.
And we saw off of turn 4 just previous there, the 42 machine cut a massive break to the 5. That should have been a 6-car accident for sure. Freeman all the way out of the gas, lost 3 spots because of it. Just about got put in the fence by David Flanagan.
Yeah, that is unfortunate right there to see that. And here we go, a little bit of action right here. Dylan Cardenas in the 15 trying to muster his way out up through here. He's blinking a little bit. Got the chili pepper right there on the front of that bad boy. Trying to go after Stephen Thomas, who's currently sitting up in the 5th spot. Mark still leads. He's got Dustin Scruggs right behind him, and then David Flanagan sitting in the 3rd spot. But we stay back here.
Oh, we got it. Just about
Rodriguez, Freeman. Damn, I'm telling you, I tell you what, I'm like you, Morgan. If I was John Freeman, I would have already made a pit stop a couple of laps ago.
And I thought for sure he was going to go around the 25 of Beard gate, cut no brakes there, and move the 42 up out of the groove. I thought for sure Freeman was going to go around, was able to save it, but he is on an island right now, and that is not a good place to be. 12th, probably going to fall back to 14th by the time we get off of turn number 4 here.
Yeah, big deal right here is that right there. We'll see how this ends up working out. He's all the way up on the top side. Wesley Allen would say something about, the top side, where grandma has the cookies and everything else. I may end up having a new saying, I got the bottom side and everything else. But I tell you what, he's high, wide, and handsome right now at this point. He has no chance up there on this top side. Everybody's just easing by.
Let's not lose fact of Dustin Scruggs just took the lead away from Jeff Merck.
Wow.
Let's not lose fact of that. Remember, your stage 1 winner, your pole winner, quite possibly the fastest truck here on the short run, just went out and took it away from Jeff Merck on 12-lap old tires. So that does not spell success for the rest of the field. Remember, the only driver able to pass the 11 under green flag conditions tonight for the lead here has been Tiny Horse, who is well back in the field here in 9th. So it's going to be tough here for the last 40-some laps. The 38 to be able to get all the way back up there and battle for the lead again.
Yeah, but look at that right there. You saw right there just for a split second where 3 wide Tiny Horse was and just shot up through there like literally like everybody was sitting still and drove right by him. There is still speed in that number 38. He's still got a fantastic shot trying to get up here. Lucas Lyons trying to work his way down on the inside. There's Joshua Rodriguez a little bit too close for comfort. They door banged just a little bit. Going out of 2 and sliding into 3. Lyons jumps down to the bottom side, still going after Cardenas. He slides up the hill. Sacco gets into him. Costic gets by. Here comes Kermit off turn 4.
And they're 3 wide again. Lyons completely missed the corner there. Was all the way on the apron and just did not make the corner at all here. Going to allow Broadfoot, who's door banging, Door bang in the 83. How do you do? Gonna go ahead and clear here. Yeah, we are racing hard here for 11th.
Yeah, hard. Yeah, take that for how you want it. That right there was just body slamming him out of the way. I mean, I get what you're going with it, racing hard and everything, but that was just a straight up body slam right there that Broadfoot gave to Kermit the Frog. Miss Piggy is not going to be happy about Brandon Broadfoot pulling that move right there. So Miss Piggy may be coming and hollering no Broadfoot after this thing was all said and done. Hey, folks, if you like what you said, subscribe, like, ring the bell, and keep up with everything that is going on with NASRA. Obviously, with the DSR Electric Truck Series, it's Monday night. Obviously, keep it up with the C.O.P.S Truck Series, Blanchard's Toy Xfinity Series, the NASRA Cup Series, and then obviously hearing about a little NASRA ARCA Series getting fired up on Thursday night. So that should be an absolute blast. Hopefully each and every one of you will join us on that one. So like and subscribe if you love every bit of it. Nick Sacco, we're hearing right there that 67 trying to slide up through the field anyway. Trying to run down Joshua Rodriguez going into turn 3.
Yeah, driver I want to shout out quick is that one machine of Joshua Rodriguez. Remember, he spun very early in this race. He's running up here in the 10th position, fighting hard with Caustic, trying to get that 9th spot away from him. Having a really solid run here tonight. So just want to point that out because he typically doesn't find himself this high up in the field on these mile-and-a-half racetracks. So good on him for flipping the strategy the right way and being able to have the speed to stay up here.
I mean, that's a big deal right there. Be able to try to flip those strategies and be able to try to, do this, do that. Just be there. When it matters. And Morgan, I got to give somebody a little bit of credit. I got to give somebody just a little bit of credit. But the man running in the 8th spot, I got to give him a little bit of credit. I know, we've given him a little bit of crap on here before. We really have, and there was a reason why. That we have. Before, not on here, but on my podcast, everything. But James Beard, certainly in contention to get him a top 10. And we saw the playoff grid a while ago, Morgan. He's not in, but he's outside looking in about 16 points out, I think it was. Yeah. So he's definitely got a shot to get inside his top 20. And a top 10 here tonight could definitely boost his chances.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at, you saw the point standings up on the screen. I'm looking at Devin Painter, who's back in 21st position. So if Beard's able to finish in the top 10 and Painter down in the 20s, that's a battle for that last transfer spot. So that's definitely going to be important for those guys to be able to get a good run here in this 25 machine, as Caustic still cannot quite clear him, as the 5 machine is on a roll, getting to the inside of Jeff Merck here. Remember, Merck was the leader about 20 laps ago. Might fall back even a little bit further here as MDW is right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, and real quick, you were talking about that little battle for the or for the transfer spot. We only got one more race left, and then we're going playoff race in Michigan's next week, and that is your regular season finale. So that's, all the more reasons for these guys to be able to try and basically not screw up. This is when you don't need to do that. See Tristan Bruce on the outside. Look who's there. It is inside. Tiny Horse Rod Johnson on Freshies trying to slide up through here as well. Gets around Tristan Bruce. He's trying to go for the old twofer, get around Thomas. Thomas got a run on the outside. Merck and Wood battling right there in front of them. Flanagan second, and Dustin Scruggs trying to get away from everybody.
And you did mention the fresh tires of the 38 machine. He has the freshest tires of this top 10 here. Top 6, I should say, anyway. About 4 to 5 laps fresher, pitted on that last caution rather than the first one. And that is allowing him to carve through this field. He's going to get right beside Jeff Merck here, up to the 5th position, with just under 35 laps to go.
Yeah, this ends up working out for Toddy Horse down to the inside, trying to get around Merck. He's finally got around Thomas. Now he'll slide down to the inside and try to get around Jeff Merck. Merck up on the top side. Well, almost door banged with one another right there. Joe, damn, now, oh, boy, here comes Stephen Thomas. Might have got some help from Bruce.
Oh, he got a lot of help.
Johnson the shot. Now Thomas up the hill. He gets into Merck. Here comes Bruce down on the inside. Now they're starting to get heated up.
Yeah, we have been driving here tonight. so hard to pass. You got to take every opportunity you can, and I think the 23 slipped up a little bit, got into the door of the 60, and pushed him way out of the way. Lost Murph 2 spots in one corner. Tristan Bruce, the big beneficiary, up to the 5th position, but don't look now, because Tiny Horse is right on the back of MDW, who is right on the back bumper of David Flanagan, and half a second back of your leader, Dustin Scruggs.
Trying to be aggressive as he can be. Obviously, you talked about it, those freshies trying to ease on up there. He's going to dip down to the inside of MDW, try to go for that 3rd spot. Johnson slides up, talking about turn 4, gets a little tight over here. Wood gets up, almost gets up into the fence. Johnson cut him a break. Will give room to Wood, and now Wood's trying to get a run. He's trying to go after Flanagan. Scruggs don't care. Scruggs trying to go away, but Flanagan trying to hold on to 2nd with Wood right behind him.
You mentioned Scruggs trying to get away. He's actually losing time to this trio of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The gap was half a second. It's now down to 4/10 as MDW gets to the inside of Flanagan. And here comes Tiny Horse. Ryan Johnson behind him. This is exactly what Scruggs wants to see. He just hopes his battle can go on a little bit longer.
Yeah, but he's got to worry. I mean, you were talking about the trio could possibly be catching him, but then when you end up running into this right here, this is what Scruggs does not want. Okay, this is what he does not want. He does not want the 38 to get around all of them. If that 38 gets around all of them, he goes to 2nd. Scruggs is probably screwed. Odds are he's probably screwed. Pending on a, pit stop and all that other stuff, because, they will, Morgan, I would assume they have to make one more pit stop here in stage 3, and actually that
Options
just
out.
literally just threw everything out the door. That pretty much just threw the strategy straight out the door right there about everything we was trying to do.
Yep, strategy, it's gone. Yeah, now it's just put 4 fresh tires on it and go hard. That's the strategy now.
Send it. And somebody said it. Joshua Rodriguez. Look, he set it up into Kermit. Haney was down on the bottom. Oh, boy, old Murph is not going to be happy about this one right here, I don't think. No. Oh, Luke got him. Luke was mad.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. What on earth? I mean,
Wow.
that is bizarre. That's just a bizarre incident. I mean, at worst, that's a racing incident. But I mean, really, why is the 83 3 car widths off the wall here? That's where the contact started. I mean, why you ship it into turn number 3 and try and take the guy out and then miss and then have him take you out is just I mean, what at that point, what do you do? I mean, you're kind of along for the ride there. It sucks for Keith Haney. Just part of an incident didn't have to happen at all, but that's racing, I guess.
And everybody out there in the live chat, let us know, because we're hearing possibly, one of you out there, Jurassic saying that there's a possibility that might have been intentional from Rodriguez.
Well, it was
right
intentional
there,
from Kermit for sure. Tried to dump him in turn 3. So I see 1 and 1 adding up to 2 here, but why is the 83 so far off the wall right here? That's what initiated the contact, and why he's trying to shoot the gap here. I'm not really sure. It looks like he almost didn't lift right in the center, and tries to move him and doesn't ever lift again. I don't know. That's tough.
Well, I mean, Morgan, there's a possibility that this could stem back from. We're just seeing what happened off turn 2. There's a possibility.
Right.
You can slide that all the way back and look, that it might have happened about 5 laps ago.
Definitely possible.
Very good possibility.
Before we go back here, can we get an onboard with James Beard? He had a pretty good view. Get this one from inside the cockpit if you can, Dean. This was a good one. 25. Yeah, this was a good one. So you see up there,
Morgan, you're the one who got this lined up.
You see, this is the incident that we saw here, coming off of turn 2, some minor contact, and just keep watching. And if you have any popcorn or anything, set it down, folks, because this might be a bit of a jump scare for you. As boom, right off the nose did the I think it was Rodriguez go of James Beard there. That one's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew Montgomery, driver, set on old tires, 25 laps on tires. We saw this go adversely for, I believe it was Freeman and Cardenas. So I can't imagine that 24 is going to hang up here for any amount of time. But what this really might do is hurt the entire inside line. See into the restart zone here.
Let's see what happens right here. Is Matthew Montgomery up here at the front? Oh boy, stacked him up just a little bit down there on the bottom side. Wood right there on that inside lane. Dustin Scruggs could be at a huge disadvantage right here. He's been one of the fastest trucks all night long, trying to get around Montgomery. Wood slides up. Scruggs up top. Here comes Thomas. 3 wide for the lead. Everybody trying to ship it going into turn 3. Battle is on. It's Bruce and Wood.
Yeah, the 24 realized that he wasn't going to have it as soon as he went down to turn number 1. Wisely gets out of the way down on the backstretch as Sacco just about got loose and took him out anyway for his troubles, but we got a side-by-side battle here for the lead. Bruce, MDW, and right behind him, Scruggs, who's led the most laps. Tiny Horse won stage 2, and Jeff Merck is in the picture as well. All the big players have gotten back up to the front.
I mean, this is kind of an all-star special, you know, if you love your favorite Waffle House. I mean, that's what it's going to be. Gets into Thomas, sends him up the hill. Murph
and he came back down.
Thomas.
Oh, no.
Thomas comes down, and he is going to end up nailing the outside rotated wall. Went up, come back down, and that's pretty much all she wrote for Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas is not going to be happy. He is going to be absolutely ticked right there with Jeff Merck. Pulse Popper's instant replay. We'll see what happened right here. I mean, Merck sends it much like a Kermit the Frog kind of deal right here. You see, Merck just send it, got him in the left rear. There was net code there, but he still sent it in there. And then watch Thomas. You talked about it. He was up top, got a little loose, came down. And Brandon Broadfoot, innocent bystander. There is your Martinsville winner, Dylan Cardenas. Broadfoot got a piece of it, and then Thomas just ends up sending it back around. Cody Knott ends up going around right there at the front of all of those guys as well. But one more look right here, Morgan, as you right on board with Cody Knott. I mean, it kind of looked like a Kermit the Frog, Luke Smith kind of deal.
Yeah, I definitely hate that for all the other drivers involved here at the end. Cody Knott going for the spin. I think Painter was involved in it as well. That is not good for his playoff chances. Oh, we got a big crash here. What is going on? Bumper cars on the front stretch, but I hate it for all those drivers who got taken out with I don't know what happened to make that truck turn so violently to the left. But it just didn't turn. And or it turned too much, I guess. And yeah, Montgomery straight into him. Buzzy Mongol straight in the back of him. That was an interesting situation. Love it. There's a lot of weird in this incident, Jake. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
Yeah, I hate it for Montgomery because Montgomery kind of got caught up in that. All he was trying to do is just stay out of everybody's way, and he ends up getting nailed. There you see Stephen Thomas up on the outside. This is where it all went south. Sends it. You see him try to get the wheels straightened back out. I mean, he's already smoked the tires.
You know what happened, I think, is he full wrapped the steering wheel trying to save it. I don't think he fully unwrapped the wheel when he went to go back straight. I think he still had half a wrap of left in it, and that's why he turned down the racetrack. If you watch his hands closely on the in-car, you'll see it. Watch the yellow notch or the orange notch on the top here go all the way around, and then he doesn't quite get it all the way back around. I think that's why that truck went so violently to the left. He didn't have all the wheel out of it.
Very good possibility out of all that. Very good possibility. So Tristan Bruce up here, he has the lead. MDW on the side right there as well. Dustin Scruggs, Ryan Johnson, like you said, all the players, all the big dogs up here at the front. Morgan, if you had to pick one of these guys, as we're going to see our standings, Morgan, if you had to pick one of these guys up here at the front, who would you pick to win this bad boy?
23 to go. I don't know if that's enough time for the 38 to show his true strength on the long run, so I'm going to go with MDW. High side got the preferred lane. He's not probably going to get the preferred jump as Tristan Bruce will, but I do think the high side is going to pay dividends here off of turn number 2, so I'm going to say the 21 machine of MDW.
I tell you what, give me Scruggs. Give me Scruggs because he is, I'll take Scruggs. Obviously, Dean in the background, he's taking Tiny Horse Johnson. Nobody taking anybody outside the top 5 here, which is kind of crazy. But I just think Scruggs has been the top driver. And, if one of those cautions didn't come out a while ago, Scruggs, I mean, he had that damn thing in the bag. I mean, Johnson might have caught him. We'll see how it works out. With 22 to go, Tristan Bruce, he's got the lead. MDW sliding back in the second spot. Dustin Scruggs, Tidy Horse up here battling it out. Now Johnson gets slipped back, Mark down to the inside. Cautions out again. Cautions breed cautions, boys.
I'm not sure who was in there. Oh, Matthew Cummins probably, I think is who it was. Yeah, I see some damage on the left rear of that machine. He definitely took a big hit. I also want to make note here while we try and find the replay of this. The points, the only driver of near the cut line who hasn't had a rough day here has been James Beard. This might be an excellent day for him if he's able to complete these last laps here without incident.
Very good possibility. What in the world was what in the what?
Yeah, that's interesting. I almost think the 78 was in 4th gear on that restart. We'll be able to tell by the RPM here on the 78 machine, but yeah, Cummins kind of just got to the outside, and I think he went to put the power down and just buzzed him. Could have downshifted there as well, just some sort of shifting issue, but round he goes.
Very good possibility, like you said, buzzing them tires. I mean, it will, yeah, you'll screw it up big time out of that. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, real quick, Premier Racing Setups, 20 to go. And folks, if you need a setup, go check them out, PremierRacingSetups.com. Obviously, enter the code of Nazra or Jake57, get 15% off your entire order. Either way, whichever code you use, 15% gets kicked back to the North American Sim Racing or Sim Racing Association or the Door Banging Download, whichever you prefer. But I mean, all of it for a great cause. All of it, great. Great setups. Some of the fastest racing setups that I've ever raced with. So if you want the setups, the Redneck Announcer Races, North American Sim Racing Association races, and Dean Hopton would race if he'd ever get a damn rig. If you want those setups, go check them. You got a wheel? Have you got one? I didn't know that. If you got pedals? Anyway, if you want the setups that we race, go check them out, PremierRacingSetups.com. Sharon Bruce out there. Come on, Team Brooke. What kind of wheel is it, Dave? 923? Oh, you don't know? Sorry, folks. We end up getting off into a daze and everything else. I'm still trying to find my can of dip. I have no idea where my tobacco is. I've been looking for my tobacco, and I have not. I've been looking for about the past 20 laps, and I still haven't found it in here. I have no idea what's up, but we got 19 to go. I mean, are we still thinking MDW rare? We still thinking that?
I think so. I mean, he had an excellent restart, was able to launch about the same time as Tristan Bruce, and able to easily clear that second row and was trying to hunt him down. Obviously, we only got about half a lap there, so he didn't have a chance to really try and hunt him down. But if he can repeat that last restart, I like what I'm seeing here out of the 21 machine, who has already won a good number of times this season.
Well, I mean, another thing that really could throw this in for a little bit of a wrench is there you see MDW pretty much got a damn stranglehold on this points and the championship and everything else. He's pretty much got a stranglehold on this baby. Odds are he's going to be the regular season champion and could be one of the forces to be reckoned with, and pretty much possibly even a lock all the way to the championship 6, being MDW, and he just tried to pad that point lead.
How about a perfect restart for MDW, still on the quarter panel? This is exactly what you have to do if you're going to take the lead here on a restart. He's still there. Just now the 3 gets clear of him, but look at the momentum back for the 21. He's going to cross him over. He's going to get down to the door here as we block down the backstretch, give the inside line to the 21 machine. Is he going to go by and try and take the lead here into 3?
Yeah, and you better watch them behind them. There's Scruggs, Johnson. They're slugging it out as well for the best here on the Friday night series. Johnson on the bottom, Scruggs up top. That's the second row. Jeff Merck, past champion right there with him. Check out the side draft right there with Wood going down and Bruce coming down trying to use all the air that he possibly can, but he's got to be careful with that, Morgan. We've already seen numerous guys end up getting that, that side draft or whatever. We've already seen guys get that close and people getting hooked here this evening. They got to be careful with that side draft.
Oh, aggressive slide job out of the corner is going to clear him. MDW will clear Tristan Bruce for the lead here. With only 16 laps to go, Bruce back to the high side is going to get blocked into the corner. Not going to be able to get there, but here comes Ryan Johnson, the fastest truck on old tires all day. Can he take advantage of this new battle for the lead as Bruce gets to the outside off of turn 2?
And then obviously Suss Racing out there, Joshua Suss, talking about Ryan better get his tail up there. Well, I got to be honest with you. He's coming. There he is. Barely see him down there at the bottom. Tristan Bruce right there sitting in the second spot. There's Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson sitting in the third spot. Scruggs back and forth. Merck there in fifth as well. Johnson just basically laying in the weeds, probably going, whichever line is the fastest to be able to try to slide up here. Wood, Bruce, really, two of these guys, honestly, Morgan, these are some of the young cats that Nazareth's got. They are two of the best. These are two young cats that can make a long career out of this. They door bang on 4. Johnson's got to run, maybe go through wide.
He's going to push the 21 instead. He thinks that's going to be the fast way through the corner, and it may just be. He's going to slide up with the dirty air. Going to impede Scruggs' progress through the corner, and we're still door-to-door for the lead here off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Bruce still there. Wood down on the bottom, still there. Here comes Jeff Merck. Merck sent it down on the inside, tried to make something stick. Actually, that was Scruggs. Scruggs tried to send it. Johnson put the block on him. Now Merck back here. There you see riding on board with Jeff Merck. Door banging, still contact. Bruce getting into Wood. Hard racing, but very clean racing, at least for the moment. And remember, Bruce don't need to make any crazy moves right here, Morgan. He's still on that 6-race probation deal. Hard racing, door banging, that's one thing. But Bruce can't get carried away right here. He could end up costing him a lot right here.
I can imagine that is the furthest thing from his mind right now. Right now, all he sees, 12 laps to go, and a checkered flag hanging in the balance. It's the top 4 under a blanket. Scruggs got to the bottom of the 38. Can't quite make that move happen. That was close in the center of 3 and 4. Caution is out. I believe Devin Painter, Lucas Lyons involved. Another driver right near the cut line with a bad day here. And that truck, I believe, lost the magic, powerful white smoke. I think it's gone out of the 88 machine.
See that right there for Lucas Lyons, obviously for Devin Painter as well. There's Lucas Lyons. Let's see what happened to the 88 of Lucas Lyons. He's up here on the top side. See kind of what happens. See who gets sent around. There's Lyons. Jeffrey Sickles gets into him. There is Painter up the road. Lyons takes a hell of a hit. Head on to the outside retaining wall. Painter got knocked around sideways. Painter's still kicking. But Lucas Lyons is done for the day. Look away, smoke cheddar, and hard impact head on.
Big hit, and I'm not really sure why this incident happened. Like, I saw the 78 went into the corner and it just didn't turn. It just got tight. You can kind of see it in the mirror up at the top there. Entered on the bottom, met Lucas way up in the second groove. And there's not much you can do if you get turned like that into the outside wall, and obviously there goes the trail of smoke behind him.
And a couple of guys actually jumping down pit road. There you see Dylan Cardenas, one of them, Jose Luis Rivera, James Beard in the 25. Couple of drivers easing down right here. Cody Knott, one of them, jumped down pit road as well. So some of these guys jumping down pit road for 4 fresh tires and fill it up full of fuel. Maybe a little bit of a strategy play right here with 10 laps to go. Well, I tell you what, if you want to find out about how that strategy ends up playing out, you have to sit through this commercial break and be right back. We got 10 to go here in Nashville. It's starting to get good. We'll be back here in a second.
for Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Back here at the Nashville Superspeedway, MDW leads over Tristan Bruce, Ryan Johnson, Dustin Scruggs, and Jeff Merck. Your top 5 about to get good here. Under 10 laps to go. We've seen a flurry of restarts here in the last 20 or 30 laps after a very long green flag run all the way through stage number 2. Most of stage number 1, I think, went green as well. Stage winners tonight, Dustin Scruggs won the first one. Ryan Johnson won the second one. They make up that second row. Everyone up at the front on the same 20-lap old tires. And that about sets the stage for what will be a wild finish to this one. I am absolutely sure of it. Pace truck should turn down off of the racetrack. There he goes, right there. Field in the hands of MDW.
See how this ends up working out is Bruce down on the bottom side, Wood up top, Johnson, Scruggs, Kostick, and Merck. Green flag in the air. A couple of them spinning tires back there on this hot old concrete. As Wood up top still got the run. Here comes Johnson down the inside, Scruggs up top. 3 of our 4 picks up here in the top 4 and still side by side, close to door banging. Wood gets the advantage going into 3.
MDW finally clears Tristan Bruce. They ran side by side for the vast majority of the back half of that run here. Looks like now it's going to be a truck length as the heat cycle has not been kind to Tristan Bruce. Here comes the battle now. We got Scruggs and we got Tiny Horse trying to figure out who's going to take third and maybe who's going to pass the 3 machine first if they can get there in order.
Yeah, I mean, and Merck's back there just laying in the weeds, which will be kind of interesting. Obviously, Tristan Bruce, Jeff Merck, teammates here on the Friday night series. So we'll see how this works out. Wood is checking out. This is going to be the big factor right here. I think Johnson's trying to get around Scruggs. They're trying to, fight that out. And I think if they get to Bruce, they got a good shot at getting around him. But they got to do it quick, Morgan. If they don't do it quick, I mean, unless we have another caution right here, it looks like this sucker sewed up. And your pick, once again, your pick, MDW will end up taking this thing.
And I think Tristan Bruce really burnt up those tires trying to roll the high side for so long around MDW. As we see here, Scruggs to the bottom. A Tiny Horse not quite able to clear him. Is going to be tight off the corner. Momentum going to go back to the 38 machine. But I think that that second, third, and fourth here really worked their stuff to try and keep up with MDW on that last run. I think they're paying the price for it after the heat cycle didn't quite cool them down for them.
Yeah, Tiny Horse has got a very, very good shot trying to get to Wood, but he's got to get around Tristan Bruce. And Bruce, one of the, I guess you could say one of the Ryan Newmans of the field. I mean, one of the Ryan Newmans. What I mean by that is he is hard to pass. He is very, very hard to pass.
They were just 4 wide off of turn 4 behind Jeff Merck. They still are actually 4 wide here for about the 8th spot, 3 wide into the corner. Oh man, we got the 5 machine, the 42. They are racing back here.
And still 3 wide.
Oh, there it is. There it goes.
So Newton sends him around. No
still
caution
green.
yet. Newton spun around in the grass. No caution. Oh, boy, kind of questionable right there. Honestly, I would have expected a caution right there. But Newton spun around. He was not on the racing surface, Morgan. So I think, good possibility that's why that caution didn't come out. But Newton is not going to be happy about it.
No, I mean, that was a good top 10 run, and it's gone now. I mean, he's fallen all the way back to 24th spot. He's probably got some damage, and yeah, that is definitely going to be frustrating as here goes Johnson to the outside of Tristan Bruce. He's got the momentum on the high side. Can he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he can. And he's still going to be right on that quarter panel. Yeah, not quite clear. Oh, that was close. These guys are racing hard here for second.
much is just going to throw it out the door. So if they make it around right here to the white flag, unless Wood ends up getting loose, spinning out, MDW's got the sucker in the bag once again. But I'm telling you, big battle right here with Tristan Bruce and Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson working their way off of turn number 4. Hit the white flag bell lap here in Nashville. Wood has the lead, just hoping that everything goes steady with his truck behind him, sending it, big time sending it, 38 Tiny Horse and Tristan Bruce off 2.
And we've seen these drivers be aggressive all night long. What's happened here in turn number 3 is MDW 2 corners away from wrapping this thing up. Going to roll through turns 3 and 4. Here's the battle for second. MDW going to win it here in Nashville.
W will win here in Nashville and will keep and literally pad that points lead that he has here with the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series. Ryan Tiny Horse Johnson was able to edge out Tristan Bruce. John Freeman from 29th all the way up to 4th. And Dustin Scruggs was able to edge out Jeff Merck and get a P5. Fantastic race right there by everybody. But the win will go to the number 21 of MDW. And I will say this, do not bet against the chef on picks in races. He will take your money. He ended up having Wood, and he got him.
I'm not sure what to say to that, Jake, but yeah, it's been good. Definitely, yeah. I think I'm 3 for 4 picking winners here, and 2 of those were MDW this season. So hard to bet against this 21 machine. Been bad fast on every kind of racetrack, and showed everyone here that he just needs a sliver of a chance to get it done at any racetrack, and he went out and took it here at Nashville tonight.
And I'm telling you, I mean, Morgan, we've talked to this kid, we've said it, literally, he's a kid. He is a kid. And I'm telling you, and I don't mean that in any way, bad way, shape, fashion, or form with MDW. But when you call, when he is, a kid and everything else, the age is what gets me. He is fast. He is young. He could be around for quite some time. Some of these guys here on the Friday Night Series, much like with MDW, a lot of these guys are going to have to contend with him for quite some time because he wants to stay at Nashville. He wants to stay here. So they're going to have to contend with this number 21 right here, for years, not just for seasons, but for years, have to contend with this 21. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out in the near future. MDW, Matthew David Wood, Mission 1 Esports gets the win. Tiny Horse Ryan Johnson gets second. Tristan Bruce third. John Freeman, I talked about that a second ago, 29th all the way up to 4th, biggest mover of the race by far. He will finish 4th here tonight. Dustin Scruggs will get 5th. Jeff Merck still searching for that win, but a good finish tonight. Got him a top 10. Should help him out as far as the points goes. Michael Kostick will get 7th. Matt Cherry's going to get 8th. Nick Succo 9th. And Jose Luis Rivera, who was going a lap down when Scruggs and Johnson were battling for that stage 2 win, Rivera comes back. He gets a top 10 out of all of this. Good drive for him.
Definitely a great run for the 20. Isaac Bevan's going to finish 11th here tonight. James Beard, probably his best run of the season. He will finish 12th. Great for the points. He definitely needed them here tonight. David Flanagan, after running up in the top 5 most of the day, he will finish in 13th. Kyle Hess rebounds to 14th. Devin Painter in the 15th spot. Dane Hagen, who started shotgun on the field, he will finish in the 16th position. Raul Meza in 17th. Dylan Cardenas, 18th. Ed Osborne, 19th. And Cody Knott rounds out your top 20.
Matthew Cummins will finish 21st. Jeffrey Sickles, 22nd. Matthew Montgomery, 23rd. Adam Newton, who got spun around right there in the closing laps, will be the last one to finish on the lead lap in the 24th spot. Rest of these drivers pretty much crashed out of the race. Lucas Lyons, 25th. Buzzy Mongo, 26th. Brandon Broadfoot, 27th. Give 28 to Stephen Thomas, 29th to Joshua Rodriguez, and last week's winner at Charlotte, Keith Haiti, will finish 30th. Kermit the Frog, Luke Smith, will come on 31st. Robbie Richards and Eric Zimmerman, the 33 drivers, to race here tonight at Nashville. TJ Moore was your race director. Well, folks, we're going to round up those podium finishers, be back in the Florida Cabinet Distributors Victory Lane, and talk with MDW right here after this commercial break.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
And folks, we are back here in Florida Cabinet Distributors Victory Lane with the winner here tonight. Another win on, honestly, I've lost count how many wins this boy's had right here. MDW, Matthew David Wood gets it here tonight. Matthew, congratulations on the win. Tell us about your race, bud.
Well, hate this place. I burnt the right front off every single run, trying to figure out what Ryan was doing. But I don't know, it's just like the weekly Kyle Busch update. Just him wrecking. It's just Ryan Johnson with cautions and bad luck with cautions. I swear. I was just talking to him. I'm going to push him to win at Superspeedway. He needs it. But yeah, we were doing pretty well up front. Me and Dustin, first part of the race, first stage, and by practice, I knew I was going to burn the right front off. I did that in Cup race. I did here as well. Just can't seem to get this track right on the long run, but comes to short run, I'm very, very quick, and that was probably one of the best battles I've had in this league with those two there at the end. So just an awesome feeling to be racing these guys. But again, another kind of lucky win, but I mean, that was fun.
You take them how you can get them. And you mentioned that battle with Tristan Bruce. You had the short run speed at the end there, and the right front tire probably melted on that thing. But that last restart, you were able to get the jump. You were able to get out in front. Was there anything going through your mind other than just look out the windshield and drive it home to a victory?
Nothing was going through my mind except just get this thing to the end. And then thinking what I would do if another restart came, how to approach turn one, get through turn two efficiently, and then defend. But other than thinking, because I expected a caution, you always have to. And other than that, I was just, eyes to the front, get to the end of this thing. Don't put yourself in the wall like I did in stage one. So that was the only thing going through my head, really.
Well, Matthew David Wood, MDW gets him another win. I mean, Matt, how many wins is that this season? I have no idea. I've lost count.
It
seems like it seems like every single time you end up getting a win and everything else. But going to Michigan next week, we'll transition this into your thanks to your sponsors and shout outs. But going to Michigan next week, you pretty much you got to be the favorite going into Michigan next week. How are we feeling when we go to the 2 mile oval?
I don't know. That's those big ovals. I'm not. The bigger the track, I think, the worse I get, to be honest. But we'll see. I've had some success in Michigan before, but that's before the playoffs begin. I'm just looking for a regular season championship. It's been fun battling with Ryan. He keeps dimming it down, and I'm just trying to run away from him the best I can. So I think it was 23 points. You see there, 23 points, I believe. So it's going to be a fun one, but just got to focus on not getting wrecked out. But again, thank NJB Designs. Thank you guys, of course, for doing the job that you do, and the guys on track for racing me clean. But thank the Lord for what He's done for me. He always will, and if we're going to that Nazareth special event, I hope to do both of them, the Indy 500 and the C.O.P.S 600. I'm hoping to do both of them. So I'm trying to learn the 87s as much as I can, but we'll see how it goes.
W gets the win here tonight. Matthew David Wood, congratulations on that. There is the QR code to be able to try to enter into that NASRA 1100, get a shot at trying to run the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 with the 87s. I've talked about that before. Next gen cars, thank God they're not in that. I hate them things. But Matthew, buddy, congratulations on the win here tonight, buddy, and we'll see you at Michigan when we race next week.
Thank you.
That was MDW. Matthew David Wood gets the win. Once again, we'll go to our second place finisher, the man that Wood is trying to race for the regular season championship, and that is Tidy Horse Ryan Johnson. Ryan, buddy, oh baby, I mean, if you had a couple more laps, do you think you might have been able to run him down, or was it just you just needed a caution right there?
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. I wasn't that quick on the short run speed. When it came to long runs, we had that figured out, I think. But at the end there, I had to work so hard getting around Tristan, and I think MDW just was kind of gone by that point. I was just trying to get second. Had it been earlier in the race, yeah, these cautions, man, they suck. But I mean, tonight was a lot of fun. Racing Tristan, MDW, Dustin, like all them guys up front. There was some awesome battles going on. I know a couple restarts before the end there, MDW and Tristan were side by side, and I couldn't decide who the hell to push. I tried both, but yeah, I guess the only other one I didn't try was 3 wide. But yeah, we've been right there with neck and neck with MDW in the regular season points, but unfortunately I'll probably be missing next week. Gonna do some real life racing, so I think he might have that clinched up, but if something changes, we'll see. But yeah, it was a lot of fun tonight.
Right on. Well, you talked about some of these battles we had at the end of the race. The one with Tristan Bruce here. How hard is it as a driver to give enough room to someone who's racing you so hard? And probably the same question I'll ask to Tristan later here when we get to interview him. Is how hard is it to race so hard with somebody but not make any contact with them at all? Because you guys were inches apart pretty much the entire last 5 laps.
Well, we've been in that position quite a few times, and normally it doesn't end well for me. But fortunately, tonight was awesome. It's a lot of fun when you can trust people that you're racing around, and I built some trust towards them tonight, so that's cool. It elevates the racing to a whole nother level when you can trust those people and you can put your trucks like right on each other's doors, quarter panels, fenders, and have a really good race, have a really good battle out of it. It was just a lot of fun. That's probably the most, I don't know, how do I say this, the highest quality battle that we've had, and it was just fun. I don't know how else to describe that.
Horse Ryan Johnson comes home with second here tonight. Ryan, before you get into thanking your sponsors and your shout outs, this NASRA 1100, Wood talked about he's going to try to get in it. Are we planning on, possibly making an appearance to try to run in the NASRA Indy 500 and obviously the NASRA Coke 600?
Currently, I am not. I have a lot of stuff to do with our real life racing right now. But if something changes, you may see me. But I got to thank Brady and all the admins, everybody at NASRA putting this on. You guys all up in the booth for broadcasting. Josh and Huck for putting together Blue Line. My teammates and our team sponsors, Merce Magical Creations, Concerns of Police Survivors, Starbase 1552 Comics, Florida Cabinet Distributors for being on the truck the whole season, Coalfield Asphalt Refinishing, Coalfield Supply and Service, and all the drivers for a really great race tonight. And looking forward to 2 weeks.
2 weeks' time, you'll see Tidy Horse Ryan Johnson get ready for some playoff racing. Should be a good one, Ryan. Congratulations on the second place finish. And wish we could see you at Michigan, but we'll see you when the playoffs roll around, buddy.
I appreciate it, buddy.
That was Tidy Horse Ryan Johnson comes home second here tonight. Now we'll go to the man that Tidy Horse was racing as all get out for that second spot. He ends up getting him by a little bit, but Tristan Bruce comes home with a third place finish here tonight. Tristan, I mean, talk about this race, man. I mean, because we talked about it up here in the broadcast, but such tight racing here at Nashville. It seemed like, you love this place. I mean, how you was racing out there, at least it seemed like it. Tell us about it.
Oh no, like MDW said, I hate this place, man. In practice before the race, I really felt like I wasn't even going to run top 10 tonight, but the first stage I fell back. I just pushed my right front way too hard, and I learned from that. So the second stage and the whole third stage was much better for me, and podium tonight honestly feels kind of like a win, because I don't know when my last top 5 was. This season has been very, very more of a down than ups for me. I don't know how I'm in third. It's pretty cool to see the 1, 2, 3 finish tonight as first, second, third in points as well. So just shows how strong we are. But yeah, really great racing. Like both of them said, that's probably some of the best battles we've had this season. And I agree. I like to race hard like that and get as close as I can, and try to not give up the position I'm in. I'm on probation, so I can't do anything stupid, but I think that's BS. It was awesome reading Lucas Lyons as disconnected from the server, because he should do that every race. But no, yeah, I don't like him. But it was a great race. I really enjoyed it. Setup I wasn't a fan of, but like I said, second and third stage I really figured it out, and just hope to be back up here in the podiums more often coming into the playoffs now. But yeah, I really enjoyed running MDW and Tiny Horse, those tight, close battles. That was really, really fun racing. The best I've had all season, especially fighting for a podium.
Right here, Joe.
Damn right.
I played that a little bit late, but a little bit early. But go ahead, Morgan.
Well, you clearly like this place enough as you set the fastest lap of the day, the only driver to touch the 30.8s today. Yeah, it was you.
Wow.
So you set I don't know when you set the fast lap, but it would have been probably right near the end of the race. I mean, great run to the checker, as you really weren't much of a factor for the first half of the day. What did you learn throughout the race that was able to help you show up at the end?
Just my entries and how to point the truck down to the apron in the center of the corners, right? I never shifted at all in the first stage, but the second stage I started to shift, and that really helped me out. As soon as I started shifting, I'd pull away from the guy behind me. So that was a big factor that I was able to find out tonight. But yeah, just had to learn all night and try to get to the front.
Tristan, I'll ask you this final question, and then you can transition that into your sponsors and shout outs. You talked about that just a second ago about shifting and everything else. It's kind of a new, well, at least in my opinion, I've had to do it. I'm not a big fan of doing the shifting deal. I never have been, but it seems like that it's a new art form that we're having to see, since the next gen cars does it, and now we're doing it in trucks, not necessarily Xfinity cars, but it seems like everybody's doing it a lot in the trucks. I mean, is it really that necessary to have to do the shifting just to get that little bit of extra speed, or is there any way that you maybe could figure out how to get speed without shifting, because that's a lot to do and a lot to think about at one time?
No, it definitely is, and I'm not really a fan of it either. I don't like playing the shifting game like that, but like I said, once I did start shifting tonight, it immediately helped, and I'd pull away from the guy behind me. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but if it's faster, then it's faster, and I only started doing it because I heard the trucks around me doing it. So, yeah, thanks to everyone else doing it. But I'm not really a fan of it either, but I think also with just how much slower the trucks are than the Xfinity cars at a track like this, when we're not running, super fast in the center of the corner, it helps to downshift and, point the truck for your exit a little better. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of it either, but it definitely helped tonight.
And sponsors and shout outs, bud.
Yeah, just I want to thank Charlotte Fence Builders. They've been with me for a while. They helped out last month in my late model debut where I got the win at Hickory Motor Speedway. So big thank you to Charlotte Fence Builders. If anyone needs a fence around their property or business in the Charlotte area, surrounding areas, give 704-48 Fence a call. Talk to Miss Jennifer. Tell her Tristan sent you. You'll get a pretty big chunk of a discount on a fence for you. But and just want to thank all my family for watching like they do every week. I like to race for them and have them watch, and it's just fun stuff. I really enjoy it. So, and thank you guys in the broadcast booth. Always do a great job. I'm gonna go back and rewatch this immediately after this broadcast ends. And thank you, Brady and Cody and everyone that's involved.
Tristan Bruce comes home with third here tonight. One of the men that we'll really have to be watching out for here in the playoffs here in 2 weeks when we start it up. Tristan, congratulations on the third place finish. Appreciate your time. We'll see you at Michigan next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That was Tristan Bruce comes home third here tonight. Well, boy, Nashville, it always puts on quite a show. And damn sure did here tonight. Morgan Cook, the chef, buddy, always great working with you. Final thoughts on a rocking good time, I guess you could say, here at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, bad puns aside, was definitely a fun one here tonight at Nashville. A lot of great racing, saw great side-by-side battles for the top 5 spots throughout the entire event. Tires were a factor, strategy was a factor, just a good show here in Nashville. Looking forward to next week in Michigan.
Yeah, it'll be a good one when we go to Michigan. Dean, obviously, we'd always love to bring you in for final thoughts. Great production. Thank you very much for everything that you do for the Nashville 360 Racing Network and the North American Sim Racing Association. Final thoughts here for big country, I guess you could say, here with Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic to be doing the production from you gladiators up there in the booth there. And also mention that John Freeman just missed outside that top 3 there, but the biggest gainer there, 25 places up for the number 42 Chevy. So fantastic job for him. Dustin Scruggs, of course, was the stage 1 winner there, but just couldn't quite get it home there on the podium. But at the end of the day, he still got points, and he's still got the crucial stage win as well too. But that's the battle for the top guns, isn't it, at the sharp end of the timing sheets. So fantastic race.
Yeah, man, absolutely. It was a fantastic race. 3C MDW basically going all the way around the track backwards. I guess maybe a little bit of beef between him and Tiny Horse doing the reverse victory lap. But anyway, there you see the race results. Wood gets the win. Johnson, Bruce, we'll be watching after them. John Freeman could be a factor when we go playoff racing next season. I'm not sure he's got enough points to try to make it, but he sure is coming on strong. And Nashville always puts on a fantastic race. I would love to go watch this race in person because I love racing here and I love watching races at this track. And be good to see how this is going to work out for the rest of the season. There you see the schedule, Nashville Superspeedway. Then we got Michigan. Then we go to Daytona. Then Pocono and Lime Rock. Daytona, Pocono, Lime Rock. That'll be the first round for the playoffs here for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series for Season 10. Make sure you mark your calendars. And make sure you like and subscribe to the Nashville 360 Racing Network to keep up with every bit of it. And there's the points. Jonathan Cofield was not here this evening. He did say hello from the live chat in Panama City Beach on vacation. And there's the points. It all comes down to next week at Michigan. Should be a good one. But that's going to do it here for this race here on the Nashville 360 Racing Network. Obviously, want to thank all our great sponsors. Obviously, Florida Cabinet Distributors for the title sponsor of the Florida Cabinet Distributors 200 TLC, Poppers, Serve Pro for the cautions, and obviously all our other great sponsors, DSR Electric for what they do, Murph's Magical Creations, literally, Starbase 1552 Comics, Blanchard's for the Blanchard's Towing Xfinity Series, and obviously Premier Racing Setups for everything that they do, and also C.O.P.S, Concerns of Police Survivors for what they do here for this great series on Friday nights. Shout out to the fans and the drivers for always coming out in numbers every Friday night. And Brady LaBeouf and Cody Knott for always allowing us to do what we do each and every night here on the broadcast for the Nashville 360 Racing Network. For the Australian Dean Upton Bengals and also for the chef, Morgan Cook, I'm the redneck announcer, Jake Reeves. Saying as I always say, be safe, be kind, be fast. And folks, we only got one more race. Literally, one more race in the regular season going up all the way up north. We're going to Kid Rock's country, Michigan, next Friday night for the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series Season 10 regular season finale. Will MDW go back to back? Will we see a first-time winner only time will tell. You do not want to miss it. Next Friday night, 9 p.m. live on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Do not miss it. We're getting ready to set that grid of 20. We will see you there.
Hold.